This week on Ebert and Roeper, the stars of tomorrow. We've got them today. I'm Roger Ebert.
And I'm Richard Roeper. On this special show, we look at some of the most exciting, funny, and romantic performers in the movies, all on the edge of stardom. They're not yet leading the charge on the red carpet on Oscar night or pulling in $10 or $15 million a movie, but they are talented and versatile actors, and they're the focus of this special show, The Edge of Stardom. This week, Roger and I focus on our favorites in a number of genres, starting with action. Now, Stallone and Schwarzenegger are past 50, and Eastwood, well, he's old enough to be Heath Ledger's grandfather. But the next generation of action heroes is really yet to emerge. I'd like to start off with kind of a wild card pick, Owen Wilson. The Rock could probably snap this guy in two, but don't underestimate Wilson. He's already been in a number of entertaining action and crime flicks. In Bottle Rocket, he played the leader of a motley crew of hold-up men.
Let's move, come on! A bigger one, you idiot! What do you think?
Don't call me an idiot, you punk.
Do you have bigger bags for atlases or dictionaries, sir?
Wilson teamed with Jackie Chan for some funny Hope and Crosby-type fight scenes in Shanghai Noon. And in the overblown Armageddon, Wilson's comic touch was a welcome addition.
Okay, you're talking about my little girl, all right? I think I know who and what she is, okay?
Okay, but Harry, all we're saying is we're talking about a kid who's coming into her own right now, and she's getting curious about her body, and she's exploring her sexuality. And you know what?
Oscar.
It's a natural thing.
I'd like to see Willis and Wilson team up for a mentor-student caper flick. In fact, with his everyman looks and his clever line readings, Wilson could be the next Bruce Willis, a regular guy action hero who survives by his wits rather than his triceps. Not only is Wilson comfortable and quick on screen, he's also a talented writer. He co-scripted Bottle Rocket and Rushmore. Here's hoping he writes himself a part that fulfills his promise as a potential action hero of the 21st century.
You know, I like your idea of having him as kind of the kid with a mentor. And looking at him in that hat makes me think of James Caan in El Dorado. Remember where he's studying under Robert Mitchum and John Wayne? Yeah. He's got that kind of air where I don't know what I'm doing here, and I don't know if I know how to hold this gun, but I'm going to do my best. And in Shanghai Noon, that's what really came out, that he was a good sport. He was trying to go along with the action rather than just a Superman.
And vocally, he's almost got a young Dennis Hopper thing going when you listen to him. So I just think, you know, the world is his. If he writes himself the right part, you know, you could pump up your triceps and biceps. That's the easy part. But the wit can't be developed.
He's got that kind of Steve Buscemi or Christopher Walken thing going where the moment you see him on screen, you kind of smile because you know that something a little quirky or unexpected is going to happen.
Yeah, even when he's been in junk, he's added a little sharpness to it.
My nominee for the action star of tomorrow is Vin Diesel. Even his name sounds right. He has a lean, rough-voiced presence capable of violence, but also a gentler side that is used in voice-over work. Diesel's hot right now because of The Fast and the Furious, but he started slowly directing 2 films, a short and a feature, trying to get started. He was unemployed when Steven Spielberg saw the short film named Multifacial and offered him the role of Private Caparzo in Saving Private Ryan.
I can't. She reminds me of my niece, sir. Caparzo, get the kid back up there. Captain, the decent thing to do is to at least take her down the road to the next town.
Then he was sensational in Boiler Room as a foul-mouthed, aggressive salesman in a shady stock operation.
Whole firm's going nuts. Hold on, let me open up the door to my office. See that, Doc? That's my trading floor.
And in Pitch Black, Diesel was the star as a killer convict shipwrecked on an alien planet and looking out only for himself.
There's got to be some part of you that wants to rejoin the human race.
Truthfully, I wouldn't know how.
It's in The Fast and the Furious that you can see Vin Diesel's career really taking shape. He's got the intense, compact strength of a Steve McQueen, and you believe he's leveling with you and not just repeating dialogue. Authenticity like that is natural, but it can't easily be learned, and without it, an action star takes the risk of looking like he's only bluffing. Diesel, whose real name is Mark Vincent, no doubt renamed himself thinking of action roles, and I think he was right, and the shaved head doesn't hurt either. From zero to star in 3 pictures, that's Fast and Furious.
Yeah, I like that there's an aura of mystery about this guy. He won't talk about his ethnic background, and I don't think he does a lot of the TV appearances. And it's better that way because then we just get to enjoy the characters he's creating.
What intrigues me is that he made 2 movies as a director before he ever really got started with this acting career. And I think he'll come back to be a director again. I think that shows an interesting sensibility.
You know, it might be interesting to see my guy, Wilson, and your guy, Diesel, with their very different styles, do a movie together.
Coming up, Mel Gibson and Pierce Brosnan fell hard for one of our next actresses on the edge of stardom. That's Franca Potente, who never stops running in Run, Lola, Run, a surprise hit from 1999. And she is my choice in a category we're calling romance, which I define to include melodrama and swashbuckling. Potente, a 26-year-old German who studied acting at the Lee Strasberg Institute in New York and is perfectly bilingual, broke through in Run, Lola, Run, where the plot about getting some money to save her boyfriend's life was an excuse for her to run on deadline through an entire movie. She's also, I think, headed for Hollywood stardom because she's right at home acting in American movies and proved it earlier this year in Blow, where she played a Southern California stewardess who was Johnny Depp's first wife.
I got to apologize about my parents.
They weren't that bad. They were kind of cute.
Potente shows the potential for major stardom in The Princess and the Warrior, a movie I love. Directed by Tom Tykwer of Run, Lola, Run, it's a wonderful movie about a psychiatric nurse who gets involved in a dangerous loop with a bank robber. In all 3 of these movies, Franca Potente claims screen territory. When she stands next to a star, she holds her own. You look at her. She's one of those rare actresses like Sigourney Weaver or Angelina Jolie who can be physical, intellectual, and emotional all in the same movie.
Those are excellent comparisons because she is physical in these movies. She's just really good. You know, in Blow, I knew she was in the movie going into it, but I forgot it was her as I was watching the movie, and I saw the credits, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. That was Franca Potente because she completely slips into the character of this kind of beach bunny flight attendant in the late 60s in Southern California.
She's great, and Princess and the Warrior is almost like a master test for an actress because she has to do so many different kinds of things.
Yeah, she certainly holds the screen. Now, when it comes to romance, I like the English actress Catherine McCormack, whose work thus far on stage and screen indicates she's at least as interested in doing projects of substance as she is in becoming a big star. You might remember her as the silent film diva in last year's Shadow of the Vampire, or heating up the screen with Pierce Brosnan in The Tailor of Panama. McCormack's most famous role to date was in Braveheart as the object of Mel Gibson's affections.
You've been to Rome?
My uncle took me on a pilgrimage.
What was it like?
Rien qui approche ta beauté.
In Dangerous Beauty, set in 16th century Venice, McCormack is in love with Rufus Sewell, who literally can't afford to marry her.
My people are true citizens 700 years back.
A coat of arms does not an inheritance make.
I speak of love and you talk of money.
I speak of my duty.
And what of your heart?
Obviously, directors see something timeless in McCormack's classic looks, as she's often cast in period pieces. But she also has a very modern confidence and a sense of self that shines through in everything she does. She's strong and bright and funny. And she's been so good handling Scottish, German, Italian, and of course British characters that moviegoers might not even realize where she hails from. Next up, McCormack stars opposite Robert Redford and Brad Pitt in The Spy Game, and this could be the film that catapults Catherine McCormack to true leading lady status.
You know, the role of hers that I think really got away from audiences was Dangerous Beauty. That was a great picture set in Venice, where she's the poor girl from the good family who becomes a courtesan and influences the course of empires. And it's a role that, you know, where she's on screen in practically every scene that is so challenging. When I saw that movie, I knew that we were really dealing with a star.
I don't know why that movie wasn't a hit.
I don't either.
It's sexy, and she carries the movie. And I think maybe it's because of the generic title, or they didn't market it the right way. But you're right, she already had a star-making vehicle. Hopefully another of these movies that she's got coming up will turn her into the star she should be.
Dangerous Beauty sounds like Fatal Attraction
or Stealing Beauty or whatever. Okay, when we come back, 2 young comedians who put the edge in stardom.
Hey, I give up.
Well, guess the automatic siding works.
Yeah. Thought I was about to sprawl.
A movie never suffers when infused with a shot of Jack Black. We're calling this show The Edge of Stardom as we spotlight 10 of the most promising actors in films today. In the comedy department, my vote is for the acerbic and wildly talented Jack Black, who has a hardcore cult following already thanks to his parody folk duo Tenacious D, along with his aggressively edgy work in films such as The Cable Guy, Enemy of the State, and his best part to date as an outcast slacker who's a serious music snob in High Fidelity.
Why not? Well, it's sentimental, tacky crap. That's why not. Do we look like the kind of store that sells I just called to say I love you? Go to the mall. What's your problem? Do you even know your daughter? There's no way she likes that song. Oh, is she in a coma? Oh, okay.
Even in Drek like Saving Silverman, Black makes you laugh.
Dude, you don't have to do the sound. It already does that. Out.
Copy that. I'm not gonna make the sound after I say stuff from now on. J.D. McNugent, over and out.
And he gets a chance to play the romantic lead opposite Gwyneth Paltrow in Shallow Hal, the upcoming comedy from the Farrelly brothers.
Oh, there she is. There's Rosemary.
Where?
Right there.
Is she behind the rhino?
Unlike most popular movie comics like Robin Williams and Eddie Murphy, and even younger stars like Chris Rock and Adam Sandler, Black doesn't seem to much care if we like him. That's worked great so far, but if he can somehow add just a dash of warmth to his repertoire, he could become a huge star, the next John Belushi.
You know, it took a role like the one in High Fidelity to really pop him out so we noticed him because he'd been in these other supporting roles. And I loved him in Jesus' Son, where he plays the emergency room orderly.
Right.
The guy comes in with a knife stuck into his eye. The doctor won't operate because he's not a brain surgeon, and Black just pulls it out and says he's okay now. I saved lives.
Yeah.
I mean, he is really great at scenes like that.
Yeah, and it was, High Fidelity was the first showcase role.
Yes.
I'd like to see him try to carry a whole picture. I think the guy can do it.
I know he can. My choice for an emerging comedy star is Natasha Lyonne, who was only 22, but has been crucial to the success of some of the funniest movies of recent years. She was spotted real early by Woody Allen in Everyone Says I Love You, where she's Allen's daughter and the narrator of the picture. And then she was brilliant in The Slums of Beverly Hills, playing a teenage girl whose unemployed father, Alan Arkin, desperately tries to find affordable housing in a good school district.
Why can't we ever stay put? It's not normal to move every 3 months.
It's normal in some cultures. Nomads, they move.
So where's our new apartment this time?
Lyonne had her first big success in American Pie as the one girl who actually knows something about sex.
All right, no wonder you're not psyched about sex. You tell me you never even had one manually?
I've never tried it.
You never double-clicked your mouse?
Sex was the subject again in But I'm a Cheerleader, the movie where her protective parents feared that she was exhibiting lesbian tendencies and sent her to a rehab camp to learn to be straight.
I'm not like all of you. Everyone reads Cosmo. Everyone looks at other girls all the time.
Natasha Lyonne has been in big titles like Scary Movie 2 and American Pie 2 and has 8 more movies in the works. She's good at all sorts of roles, but she has the one essential quality of any comic actor. She makes you smile the first time you see her. She has that kind of exasperated pout that shows she's the smartest person in the room. She works that lower lip and is fed up with the cretins who surround her. Look at this shot from Slums of Beverly Hills.
God.
I love that moment.
Well, she's so much better than a lot of the young comic actors who have to have sex with pies or jump off buildings or crash cars to get laughs, because she gets laughs through her delivery of lines. And you talk about how smart she is. She's also just seems more mature. She's only 22. She's got a little bit of that kind of Janine Garofalo thing going on, where she's just like, I can't believe these fools. Eventually they'll catch up to me. I like that a lot about her.
Yeah, I don't know how many people saw Slums of Beverly Hills, but that's, in addition to everything else, a dramatic role and shows she really has her chops when it comes to knowing how to behave and deal with dialogue and complex situations. She's good.
Yeah, even in cartoons like American Pie, she seems to have another level going there. It's really good stuff.
Coming up next, 2 dramatic actors who can play any role and do.
Prefontaine timed at 13:12.8.
That's Billy Crudup as the great American runner Steve Prefontaine in a 1998 movie named Without Limits. And Billy Crudup is my choice as an emerging dramatic star. He's been so good in such strong roles that he'd be better known, I think, if he didn't seem like a different person in every picture. Some actors are always more or less themselves. Others disappear into roles. That's what he does. Remember him as that lean athlete at the beginning of this segment, and now watch him here in Jesus' Son as a druggie, dropout, and drifter.
You know you're bleeding from the nose?
But now, look at this. Look at Crudup as a straight-arrow congressional candidate in Waking the Dead, the story of a man obsessed by the memory of the political activist that he once loved.
I want to be the president. Are you smiling?
Billy Crudup followed that role with another 180-degree change of character, playing the rock guitar god who becomes the hero of a 15-year-old would-be journalist and Almost Famous.
Excuse me, but didn't we all get into this to avoid responsibility?
I can't say any more with the writer here.
No. You can trust him. Say what you want. He won't write it.
So yeah, Billy Crudup playing an athlete, a druggie, a congressional candidate, and a rock star, and he's also played a modern cowboy and a Boston gangster. But it's not just his range that impresses me. It's the humanity he brings to those roles, reaching inside for who the person really is instead of depending on externals. Almost Famous is so good because the rock star is not just a rock star, but can himself remember what it would be like to be that kid who takes himself so seriously.
Yeah, well, Crudup's really good, and he's been in a lot of really good movies, but people haven't gone to see those movies. And I'm going to suggest for him to become the star that he should be, he do something a little more mainstream. I'd like to see him do a romantic comedy with Julia Roberts or somebody like that, and then become a big star, and then people see how good he really is.
Yeah, well, everybody would like to be in a movie with Julia Roberts, I guess, but, you know, I think when he made Almost Famous, he thought it was mainstream. I thought it was mainstream.
Maybe so.
Why people didn't go to see it, I don't know, but I think he's doing the right thing to choose good movies and then see how they do,
well,
instead of compromising up front.
Fine, maybe he should just get out of the 70s and do some more modern stuff. It seems to be working.
Now that's not fair.
Well, I'm just talking box office-wise. I'm not talking about...
You loved Almost Famous, too.
It's a great movie.
Okay.
Well, we both agree that he's really good and he should be a bigger star.
Okay.
This was probably the easiest category for me to pick a favorite, as I'm convinced Don Cheadle is one of our best actors. And now it's up to movie makers and film goers to embrace that fully. Cheadle is a character actor who looks like a leading man, and he could sing, move, play the villain, and make us laugh as well. He's done supporting work since the mid-'80s, but only in the last 3 or 4 years has the material consistently been up to his talents. In Bulworth, Cheadle played a drug lord who gives a lesson in street economics to a whacked-out senator played by Warren Beatty.
I'm giving them entry-level positions into the only growth sector occupation that's truly open to them right now. That's the substance supply industry.
Cheadle was a porn star who turned shy during an off-camera courtship in Boogie Nights.
Yeah, I was saying that I love sunsets.
But sunrises are better.
Exactly.
I thought I was the only one who felt that way.
No, I feel that way.
And in the HBO picture The Rat Pack, Cheadle stole the show as Sammy Davis Jr.
You used to be too wise. Hey there.
What the hell is it, Sam?
Cheadle was excellent playing law enforcement officers in Traffic and Swordfish, and he was just fine as a guardian angel in The Family Man. By my count, Don Cheadle has been effective in no fewer than 15 films in the last 4 years, but he wasn't the leading man in any of them. What's it going to take for this guy to get top billing?
I think he's poised. I think he's on the edge, so to speak. You know, as long ago as Devil in the Blue Dress, the picture he made with Denzel Washington, he was being talked about for an Academy Award nomination for that role, and people keep noticing him. And it's like we're talking about Crudup. Sometimes it's the luck of the draw. You get a picture because it looks good. Whether it's successful or not, you know, is hard to predict.
Well, I hate to think that it's because he's black, and people say, well, we already have Denzel Washington. We don't have room for another black leading man in Hollywood.
He's pure talent at a time when African-American actors are really coveted in Hollywood. So that's not an issue, I don't think.
I might be a little more cynical about that. Okay, coming up next, we pick 2 stars on the horizon. And now a look at 2 actors just starting in movies, but already showing great promise. Right now, supermodel Estella Warren is getting parts in movies such as Driven and Planet of the Apes strictly because of her looks, but I've seen enough spark from her in those eye candy roles to tab her as my star on the horizon. I'm not saying Warren will become the next Meryl Streep, but she could become the next Sharon Stone, a camera-friendly performer who develops into a true actress.
Okay, my choice of a star on the horizon is Kerry Washington, who's not only a talented actor, but also one of those rare stars the camera really loves. In Our Song, she's a Brooklyn girl from the projects, trying to stay on track while her friends get in trouble. In Save the Last Dance, she befriends the new girl in school, but doesn't like that white girl dating her brother. Now, a big-name director, Joel Schumacher, has cast her in his new movie, Black Sheep. So, Kerry Washington, a star on the horizon.
Well, I have to hand it to you. That's another inspired choice. She just exudes talent in the stuff we've seen so far.
You know, it might be fun to look at this show again in 5 years and see if they're not all Oscar nominees by then, or even winners. Okay, remember you can hear our reviews at ebert-roeper-movies.com and read us in print at suntimes.com. Next week we'll be back with reviews of new movies, and until then, the balcony is closed.
You know, actor years are like dog years, so 5 years is a lifetime for some of these actors. If they don't do it now or within 5 years, they may never get a chance.
You know, I think, though, that Billy Crudup will probably just go on and on and on like Paul Newman. I see a lot of longevity in his style of acting.
He's certainly got everything he needs. He's got the looks, he's got the talent.
Honey, have you seen my lean pocket?
Lean pocket? All that rich, hearty taste and only 7 grams of fat.
Nope. Sorry.
The surprising taste of Lean Pockets brand.
There's never been a better time to join America Online.
I planned all my vacations.
Get driving directions.
Email. It's fast. It's easy.
America Online. Call 1-800-4ONLINE.
These babies were conceived using the Clear Plan Easy Fertility Monitor. It identifies more fertile days each cycle than any leading method. Clear Plan, clear results.
Sometimes it seems there's just not enough minutes in the day to do everything you need to do and still make your family dinner. Pull it all together with Manwich.
Closed captioning for Ebert and Roeper is brought to you by...
Regular oil changes make a big difference. Get one at Meineke, and they'll throw in free wiper blades.
At Meineke, you won't pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.